do get firearms, I send them across the border, make money for myself from that, other people make money from it. Today I'm going to discuss how guns are brought from the United States into Mexico.
Would you say you have a dangerous job?
Yeah, probably the most dangerous you can have. It's literally just storing it away and sending it about its way. So my mom was in jail. I need to put food on the plate. I ended up sending it to somebody who ended up taking it to California and making money off of it. So everybody ate and at the end of the day.
2009-10 was like our wild, wild west days out here where we were in chases every day.
And what are the odds someone has eyes on us right now?
Oh, pretty good, dude, because these are all scout hills.
At what age did you say you officially joined an organization?
So I was about 10, 11 years old.
We spoke with a cartel member last night that alleged that one of the ways it gets through is paying off Border Patrol, paying off police.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that.
What is the cost to buy a Border Patrol agent? In a good month, how many guns can you get across the border?
I want to say close to that.
Told that 9,500.
Yes, it is.
Whoa.
The power Mexican cartels have accumulated is hard to fathom. With Jalisco New Generation Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel leading the charge, these paramilitary crime syndicates have global reach. They are heavily armed, deeply connected, and absolutely ruthless. Specializing in drug trafficking, human smuggling, extortion, and more, these organizations pull in billions of dollars every year. And the United States plays a part in this because the ugly truth behind some of their power is American guns. Now, as Americans, we get mad about the fentanyl flooding across our border. But what about our guns that are flooding into Mexico? In this episode, we expose the pipeline. From cartel operators to U.S. gun smugglers running thousands of firearms across the border to the law enforcement agents fighting to stem the flow. These folks are the players in this deadly supply chain of power and violence. And would you believe that some of our own three-letter agencies might be involved? This is the story of how American guns end up in the hands of Mexican cartels.
Nah, Tommy G did this shit with this one. You just gotta know Tommy G though.
No, bro. Good to meet you.
That boy got a 19 next with
Is
a
it true that there's
muzzle.
on the run right now?
Oh yeah, most of the people I know, just either their people either got hit by, one of the three people that are going out there raiding people, or just had some shit happen, or some people didn't know how to do, and they gotta go on the run. So Mexico is just the go-to right now. States are too hot. State troopers, Border Patrol up in Phoenix.
So do you have a fear that if you did a bad business transaction that someone would come looking for you?
I don't fear for my life at all in this situation. It's because throughout this whole business, I've been clean business. I see myself as a way of just, civilian that's out here just trying to make money. So you're gonna have the gun itself, where the gun is, who's the one that's either gonna get it or who has it. I go buy that off that person at a price where I can make a profit for myself. If I send someone into a store to go get something from me, and I have my people that I sell it to at a pretty good markup. They send it to one of their kind of workers, drivers, and just gets taken down to Mexico in like units.
So you don't physically drive across the border?
No.
Would you say you have a dangerous job?
Yeah, probably the most dangerous you can have. Because you're not just...
Nigga part of the Sinaloa cartel? I ain't gonna lie, that and the CGNJ, they say that the most tapped in,
with, legal issues, you're also dealing with territorial issues.
For those not familiar, the Sinaloa cartel is one of Mexico's most feared and notorious drug cartels. It was led for years by El Chapo Guzman, a ruthless kingpin famous for running a global crime empire and escaping a Mexican prison in 2015 through a mile-long tunnel. He was recaptured in 2016 and extradited to the United States, where he's now being held in ADX Florence, America's most secure prison. He's locked up alongside people like infamous gang leader Larry Hoover and the Boston Marathon bomber. And with El Chapo behind bars, Sinaloa's future has never looked more uncertain. But make no mistake that from Chicago to California, Omaha to Phoenix, the Sinaloa reach is still quite powerful.
We have got to the point where literally
really got to reach
fully working app without knowing how to code. This is base 44.
He ain't lying though. I remember when niggas just used to like get on the internet, try to make a mockery of them, and they would just like show niggas like examples. Shit used to be crazy.
Alright folks, we have a sheriff pulling up from Pinal County. He's had a lot of experience in the field. We're going to be interviewing him as well. You have the wildest collection of patches that I think I've ever seen. If we interviewed a cartel member last night, what are the odds that he would be Sinaloa given the control they have in the area?
If he's not Sinaloa, then he's risking his life.
What's your process to do it?
It's literally just storing it away and sending it about its way.
And are you physically driving it in a car, or do you have other people do that?
No, there's a chain of command and there's people that do that. You can go into a gun store right now and buy, your typical mini-me, something like that for $9 grand. But if it falls out the back of the truck, I can get it for $5.
Do you work for one primary cartel, or do you freelance amongst many?
Just one.
Is there any difference in how difficult it is to do business from the Biden administration to the Trump administration?
There might be a couple hiccups, but it's all business. It's all the same. Honestly, it's crazy. I can't imagine the border right now. People are scared to go crossing over for the risk and like the paranoia of it, Because like some of this shit is like they'll load your car up with like 20 bucks. And like imagine trying to drive across the border, like thinking that, and then if that shit's gonna pick you up, shit like that. I guess once the border got tighter, things are hard to get into America, you know what I mean?
Was it actually that easy with Biden as president?
I feel like there was a lot more things coming in.
Is it noticeably more difficult now that Trump is out?
Under the Biden administration, it was a free flow of everything. The people have stopped coming across so much. I mean, we're way down. I think we were at about 7,000 to 12,000 a week, and we're at like 300 to 700 a week now.
Hold on, I don't like how low she is.
Hey, bye! He is the one who got this out. We know.
What age would you say you officially joined an organization?
It's all about 10 years. He's a paranoid.
There was a study done by the U.S. government from the Government Accountability Office that found that 70% of firearms found in Mexico traced their roots to America. Does that surprise you?
Probably low more.
Yeah, it might even be closer to 80, 90.
For sure. If anything, I feel like it would be a larger number.
Closer to 80, 90% maybe?
Probably closer to 90.
How much power do the cartels have in places like this in Arizona?
On the American side, they are very smart businessmen, right? They don't, they're getting a little more overt about their stuff, but you just don't have a lot of in your face like you do in Mexico, right? We don't have rolling gun battles here. Sinaloa holds pretty good control of our state. They have not given it up, and they've been there a lot of years.
Are there people in America that are officially part of a cartel, or is that only if you live in Mexico?
There's long stretch all over the world. We'll just put it that way.
Now, according to Arizona law, these gun smugglers could face up to 10 years in prison if caught for the crime. But what's interesting to me is the same U.S. government that will hammer these guys for selling guns also like to sell a lot of guns overseas themselves. This has happened a lot of times in recent history, but let's just highlight a couple of recent examples. Take the Soviet-Afghani conflict in the 1980s. The CIA funneled tens of thousands of guns to the Afghan fighters, the Mujahideen, to win the battle against the dreaded Soviets, our enemy at the time. Fast forward a few years later, the same Mujahideen fighters that we armed with the guns that we gave him, some of these guys later turned into the Taliban, which is really good for the military-industrial complex because this fueled another 20 years of war and profit. And most recently for the United States politicians and arms manufacturers, we have sent billions to Ukraine and Israel, which some could say the U.S. taxpayer is indirectly responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of people, including women and children. So while a low-level smuggler might spend a decade behind bars for moving a few rifles across the border, the corporations and politicians who benefit from this arms dealing will walk free. Because when the violence is industrialized, no longer a crime. It's just good business. Is there any misrepresentation of the American media about the cartels? Like, basically that they're horrifying terrorist organizations and
It's not how they picture it though. It's so media, it's so brainwashed, and they say, oh, the cartel, it's so runs this whole area, and if you go there, they're gonna kill you, or this and that. Yeah, the cartel might run a specific area, but as long as you're there, you're not causing no trouble, or you're not there to steal from nobody, or just sell anything, you know what I mean? If you're just there on the terms and like checking in, everything be good.
Do you think that's a fair picture American media makes of it?
No, that's easy to label something that you can tax. You gotta take care of our own people, you know? The government ain't helping. You see cartels sending, side bombers to people in the United States who do mass shootings and get their agenda across or anything. Most of the things that cartels do, unless it's someone in America that is working with them and flip over somehow, that's when they'll go after you as a person in America.
What do you think about Trump potentially labeling cartels as terrorist organizations?
He should start here with the people on their side.
What do you think would happen if Trump tried invading Mexico or drone striking cartel operations?
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards. Sign up for Microsoft Rewards and earn points for your everyday activity.
It's not gonna be good.
Currently in the news, the U.S. and the Trump administration is considering using drone strikes against the Mexican cartels. But how do we know if these stories are biased, how they're being framed politically, if we're getting the right scoop on what we're being told? This is where the sponsor of today's video comes in, Ground News. What they do is they pull thousands of stories across the internet and compile them, and they rate the reliability of the story based off the political bias of the source, which is very helpful because they give us an indication of the reliability of the stories that we're hearing. Just take these stories about drone strikes. Most of the outlets covering this are center or lean right. And Ground News lets you compare these headlines side by side. Take this left-leaning source that says drone strikes will lead to another Vietnam, and take this right-wing source that gives the counterpoint that cartels are using drones to spy on U.S. troops. One of my favorite parts about Ground News is their blind spot feed. What it does is it shows me stories that I might not receive based off the biases I might have or how my algorithm is structured, and it shows me more of a full and complete picture of what is happening in the world. Ground News helps me see through the noise, see through the bias, and help me be better informed. If you subscribe using my link or QR code, you get 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the most robust plan on the site. Go to ground.news/tommyg to get a better handle on the news you receive.
It's very, very, very much like the Italian mafia. They are very family oriented. I can tell you from the Mexican side of my family, we have family gatherings all the time. We have carne asada. We get together, play loteria, all this kind of stuff. The difference being when they go to work, it could be to go skin somebody alive. That's their enemy. This road in particular is a major smuggling route, and I've had a lot of cases on this route. And what road are we on right now? We're on Stanford Road. These mountaintops will have scouts on them. So all of these valleys out here can have routes where they are pushing people and product up. And they use those routes, the scouts guide the loads. When they get up here to kind of the civilization, that's when they'll hit these regular routes, blacktop routes, get on the freeway, shoot up into Phoenix, because Phoenix becomes the hub.
And what are the odds someone is hiding runs right now?
All pretty good, dude, because these are all scout hills.
Why is torture used so often amongst the cartels?
Pain is the best teacher.
So you are a runner, go to a gun store, let's say it's me. If I get flagged, okay, that's a mission that went astray. If not, how often would you send a guy like me to get it again and again and again?
I've had people that, they won't believe the number of stuff they've had on everything, and it's really kind of strategic in a way. Because the way the background checks work is it will show up as, either a pistol or a rifle. It doesn't go into the system as that specific firearm unless the ATF is finding involved. You could have someone go to a store, get 5 guns and their name, just eliminate name record, all that stuff.
Or you have someone in your family that has died from gun violence in Mexico.
Yeah.
Do you blame the guys in America selling the guns?
I just blame the shooter, really.
How do you feel about being involved in a business that arms the cartel?
It sounds worse than it is in a way. I mean, think about it is, what I'm doing is basically doing what larger corporate companies have done with other third world countries. You know, Taliban has all guns made in the USA. What I do is I still make those people money. You know, the big corporate, big gun industry still gets money from me, but I also make some money myself in a way by just doing what they're already doing, but I would